Hey, 4-1. What's wrong with these niggas talking down on us, dog? Talking about we ain't doing what we do. Nigga, we done been out here about like 10 years, nigga. We getting old, goddammit. Let's get it. We made niggas put them rose bottles up. We made the whole city boss they like fuck. Boss they like fuck. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Bitch, we made niggas, you know we love to stunt. We made niggas put them rose bottles up. We made the whole city boss they like fuck. Boss they like fuck. We made niggas wanna go and hit hush. Bitch, we made niggas, you know we love to stunt.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Georgia Tech Dynasty, coming off our first ever win as the head coach of the Yellow Jackets took down Wake Forest in Winston-Salem 34-21. An impressive win, a fun game. If you didn't get the pleasure of watching it, I'll tag it right here. I encourage you to go check it out. Really fun, really interesting how it played out. They were all over us in the first quarter, and then our defense really buckled down. Our offense picked it up, and we cruised in the second half to a 13-point win, and now we're back at it with recruiting. Be sure to drop a like in the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Just getting going with this rebuild dynasty. This is episode 8, I believe, and I do these recruiting episodes every week after a game until it gets to a point where there's not much to update you on, but this week, whole lot to talk about. We start with Calvin Johnson Jr., the guy that we really want in this class, a son of Calvin and a custom recruit we made, but we're not looking too good with him. A lot of MAC programs beating us out to this point, Eastern Michigan and the like, so we've got some work to do in that recruitment. Corey Marshall, 3-star guard, I believe, might be a 4, let's see. No, he's a 3, but a really high 3-star guard, 75 overall. We're in a battle with Auburn for him, but still right there. Tightly contested contest, so we'll just keep up our efforts there. Mike Butler, we're starting to pull away. Really nice quarterback recruit who also has Ole Miss and Georgia, most notably looking after him. 3-star quarterback. Tom Coach, big, tall, 3-star offensive tackle. We're trying to revamp our offensive line, and he would be another piece in doing that. Also has an offer from Michigan State, so a lot of other programs looking at him and his prospects in their program. Micah O'Neal, another offensive lineman, and another situation in which Auburn's in the lead and we're battling against the Tigers. Reminder, Corey Marshall the same way. So Auburn's really hitting the offensive guards hard in the trail this year, and we're going to have to battle them for 2 guys on our board. Travis McMillan, another offensive lineman, this time a center. South Carolina battling for him as well, and that's going to be a southeast kind of recruiting battle. I'm sure we're going to go against the Gamecocks a lot over the years, in our years down in Atlanta. So an early opportunity for us to beat them. Anthony McKinney, the same way, has an offer from USC, the lesser USC, and he's ready for a visit, so we'll schedule him for NC State, which is our next game. So he'll come in for that one. Barrett Robinson, a 3-star corner who I really like, also a USC, South Carolina lean, so we're going to have to battle against them. They're starting to pull away, though. We just lost 375 in recruiting points this week. Now, I'm not recruiting cornerback very hard because we brought in 3 last class, so we don't really need him, but he's really good, and we have to at least try to get him because that's how good he is. Jesse James, offensive center. He's the 2nd center on our board, so we're trying to get Travis McMillan, but if we don't get him, Jesse James, a nice reliable option there as well. Same name as an NFL tight end, so that certainly helps. 3-star guy from Georgia, so an in-state player. Same can be said about Chris Williams, 3-star defensive tackle, but Georgia State is in the driver's seat in this recruitment. They lead by 1,200 points. We're not putting a whole lot of attention into him just yet because we have other guys like McKinney up top who we're going after a little bit harder. But Matt Little, I know he's only 66 overall, but he's going to go into the top 10 on our board because this guy is very good. Don't look at his overall number. He has a lot of good schools looking at him, and for good reason. He's 94 speed, 83 excel. We don't have that kind of athleticism at the running back position, so that's why we're going all in on him. Same can be said about Ken Bryant, 3-star receiver with great speed. You see my former school, Oregon State, also going after him, so shout out to them, evaluating talent well. Corey Hawkins as well, 63 overall, but he's a scat back, and we need one of those on our roster, so that's why he has 450 points on him. Ian Jackson, I think we have 2 defensive ends on the board. We do, him and Chuck Penn. But he's got 400 points. He's a priority for us, and we're looking good there. Chuck Penn, same way. Now, this is interesting. You look at his offers here. Offered by Georgia and UNC, and we haven't even given him an offer yet. Maybe I'm underrating him. Let's look at his numbers here. I mean, he's 6'3", 237, so he's supposed to be fast, and he kind of is, 66'83". not fast enough, so I'm not really sure what they're seeing that I'm not seeing. But if we have a spot open, we'll get him an offer eventually and go from there. The guys towards the bottom of the board are decent, but we're not going after right now. Maurice Bryant, one of them. Full combo, full package running back, but I want speed this year. So if we could get him, that'd be great, but I want Matt Little or Corey Hawkins before him and before Robin Roberson, who is the same way. Decent running back recruit, full package guy, which is great. But I already have enough of those on the roster right now. I want more speed, and I want more big play potential at the running back position. So that's why we're going after the other two guys instead of them. So that's all for recruiting right now. We're looking really good in a lot of different battles. We can only bring in 7 more players unless some juniors go pro. So we have to be a little bit selective in who we're going after and who we're bringing in to take those spots. But we have an idea of who we want to get. Now let's do Drip of the Day. And if you don't know, we started doing this last week. This is an award given to guys that play very well in a game. And right now, since the CPU generated these names and rosters, they also generated their styles, so they look like they're, just guys that sit on the bench. They don't look like they belong in the football field, so we up a couple different players' styles each week. Here's an example. Clayton Perkins, who actually looks pretty drippy, but he certainly could use some fine-tuning in his style, and we'll do just that for him. We did 4 players last week, and reminder, you can drop some names in the comment section who you think, guys who you think played well and deserve to earn Drip of the Day honoree status each week. So this week it's Clayton Perkins, and we're going to do one more as well after this. All right, really didn't change much with Perkins, but it just looks a lot cleaner with the black heavy tape on the wrist and the black tape on his ankles as well. So he's a really good linebacker for us. Had a great game against Wake, and our linebacker unit as a whole is really good. But he's the first guy to get Drip of the Day there because I got to see more from Phil Jackson, our middle linebacker, and then Flanagan on the other side. Now, the other guy that's going to get Drip of the Day this week is Brandon Petty, excuse me. He's our wide receiver 1. Didn't really play like it against Notre Dame, but against Wake Forest, he was that guy. Made some big catches, made some big plays, and he's finally starting to emerge as that guy I thought he would be. He was injured last season, so he didn't get to grow and progress as much as he probably wanted to, but he's off to a great start this season. Let's see if he can keep it up. For now, let's give him some more style because he's making those nice catches, making those nice plays. May as well look good in the process. Cool, so Petty and Perkins, the 2 Drip of the Day players for this week. Let me know who you think should get it after the NC State game. That's our next opponent on the docket. All right, into week 4 we go. A lot of guys ready to visit. Corey Marshall, Micah O'Neal, Travis McMillan on the offensive line. Anthony McKinney is coming in this week. And Marcus Cutler, Corey Hawkins ready to go as well. So I'm going to try to get all of them in this week with McKinney to get those complimentary visits and all those good things. But that's 7 guys right there. So I don't want all of them. Hopefully we can just get a couple of them. But if they were all to commit after this game, that would pretty much end recruiting for now, unless there's some juniors that I think could go pro by the end of the season. And then in that case, we can add a couple of more players. But we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, I wouldn't mind getting all of those guys now, but of course, there's other dudes on the board who I would rather have than some of the guys coming in to visit this week. So we'll see. Maybe I could space out the visits a little bit. We'll all figure it out. But you see right there the championship contenders. That gives us our current ranking in the national scale. So we're 74. I think we started the season in the 90s, so already making nice jumps, and it's projecting us to be in the top 30 within the next 2 years. So this rebuild's looking pretty good thus far. ACC standings, we're in first in the Coastal, 1-1, 1-0 in the conference. Now, us and Wake are the only 2 teams that have played right now, so you don't want to put a whole lot of stock in that as it stands at this juncture. One last thing I want to do in this episode is check up on our former team, see how they did in their first game. They beat USC, 11th ranked USC that is. They were probably higher last week too. 31-24, and it looks like Cara Wilson, one of my favorite former players, nicknamed Hollywood like Marquise Brown, had 2 touchdowns, and then Eric Copeland, Heisman frontrunner, had a decent game as well. So that's awesome. Nice to see the new head coach there not screwing it up, at least for right now. I mean, we left him with a cupboard full of nice big-time premium groceries and great recruits and a great roster. So he's doing a great job. 1-0, took down USC, one of our, rivals over the years, team we would play twice twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year, rare occasions. But good win for them to start. And I do miss Oregon State. I do miss Corvallis. I wish we could, live in a world in which we could coach in both places at once, but that's not how the world works. We're down at Georgia Tech, and we're loving our time. A couple of other guys that had some nice games. Jared Hemphill had an interception. Jesse Bailey had one. Joel Stewart and Kemp Brown had an interception as well. Young, strong safety who I remember recruiting, former 4-star. So good to see that. Good to see Oregon State doing well. We are going to see them in 1 week. So we got NC State, and then I believe next up for us is Oregon State in that rematch. Really looking forward to that. NC State, like I said, our next opponent, Lee Corso picking us. Little spoiler alert for you early on. But a good team. They've had 2 games, lost to Nebraska and Army, both ranked teams, both on the road, and they were somewhat competitive in those games. So, it's the ACC. There's going to be talent no matter who we play, so we're expecting battles every time we take the field. So Game 3 coming up. Hope you guys enjoyed this recruiting episode. If you did, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for the post notifications, and I'll be back soon with Game 3 as we look to make it 2 consecutive wins and 2 consecutive ACC wins.